What is up, YouTube? We are back with a Shine 2022 wrap-up. I went to a tournament finally and I got top 8, but of course that was not the only story that happened at Shine, so I want to go over all of them, and then I'll be probably doing a couple of videos about Shine in terms of bracket or like matches and stuff specifically. So let's get into it, but of course before we do, of course, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and ring that bell. Obviously, the biggest story is Cosmos winning his second major ever after winning Glitch Infinite. He did so pretty, not dominantly, but like really solidly. He was actually playing just phenomenally all day, reverse 3-0ing Tweak, reverse 3-0ing Zomba. You don't really reverse 3-0 people, especially like, people always call Cosmos Chokemos, which I'm gonna assume that's Nara's fault, but like, the opposite of choking, right? Reverse 3-0ing one of the best players in the world, and reverse 3-0ing a different one of the best players in the world, and then just 3-1ing Light super solidly. He also beat Jackal. He beat, D-Dog. Sorry, Quandale Dinglingleton. Absolutely did fantastic. Got invited to Summit because the highest placing non-already invited gets in, which is very unfortunate for Zomba, because Zomba, the other story of this tournament, he was a game away and got reverse 3-0'd. He didn't get reverse 3-0'd at Rise and Grind, but it feels very similar, where he beat literally one of his bracket demons in Light. Got reverse 3-0'd by Cosmos, and then Light played really, really well in Losers, and Zomba didn't. And unfortunately, because of the Tweak loss here, it meant that the winner of this, especially because Light ended up playing well, was basically the winner. Like, one of the moments in my head that sealed Zomba not getting into Summit wasn't even the Zomba Cosmos set, it was this moment. So again, this last game, Tweak was coming back, gets this read, and then misses. So he ends up losing to Cosmos there. And because he lost to Cosmos, you know, Tweak would have been in winners finals, where it would have been Zomba versus Tweak, and even if Zomba loses, Tweak would be in grands, which means that if Light beat Cosmos in losers finals or loser semis, which he could have, and also Axiom also could have definitely beat Cosmos, then Zomba would have been invited potentially. It would have given him a lot more odds, as opposed to having to beat Light twice and then double beat Cosmos. He would have only had to win one more set, so really unfortunate how the bracket kind of shook out for that. And of course, Light had a great losers run after losing to Zomba, played really well against Syrup, 3-1 Zomba, and then ended up losing to Cosmos. This matchup seems a little out of Fox's favor. Maybe it's even if you're playing perfect, but it just seems like the kill differential is really, really big for Pyra. Rounding out the top 8 is all the people I talked about: Axiom, myself, and Jackal, who I actually lost to in winners. There was a couple of things wrong with Shine, and I'll get to those in a little bit, but before I wanted to like talk about the players first. Beast and Doorstop, this is by far their best placements at a major ever. Really, really good. Syrup, of course, also 3-0ing Mars in winners bracket, which was very impressive. I did watch that set. Syrup is so good. I think he's the best Ness in North America. He's the front runner there. I would still say Gact is better, but Syrup is a fantastic player. The games with Light were really close too, so he really could have won this set as well. And then of course Mars dropping to Syrup and then losing to Axiom after SDing at 0. And Anarchy, I'm so happy for Anarchy, this Greninja down here. He's from Newfoundland, which is where my partner's from. This is the highest placement of a Newfie at any offline major by like a lot. He made hella upsets. He beat a ton of people, including Yanni, which was the, I think, biggest upset of the tournament in terms of seeding. It's funny, I money matched him on Friday, and I was like, damn, you're really good. And I won like 3-0 or 3-1, but I was like, you're really good. Like, you can do really well this bracket. And then I wake up the next day, like, he beat Yanni, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, sad for Yanni, because I like Yanni, but like, really good stuff to him. So after I lost to Jackal in Game 5, I got reverse 3-0'd. I did beat Blank and Quandale Dinglingleton. I'll probably go over these two sets at the very least for a video, because I like watching me win, and I typically watch myself lose off stream, so I can analyze it and not give it away to people. Otherwise, again, you saw Mars do well. I don't think we had like a crazy upset. I think Blank is the most impressive run at this part of bracket, and I ended up snuffing that. And then on the other side of bracket, we had a couple of big upset people. Anarchy beat the Actuary. The Actuary is a Zelda main who beat John Numbers, and also beat the person, Yossi, that upset Ling Ling, who's an Ice Climbers player. So Ice Climbers player upset Ling Ling, Actuary upset John Numbers, and then you had to play Zelda Ice Climbers, which is for sure probably like a 7-3 matchup in Zelda's favor. It must be terrible. And because Yossi got upset by Ling Ling, it meant that Yanni lost to him Game 5, and then Ling had to just go through a loser's bracket, which kind of sucked. But probably the biggest run of the tournament, other than maybe Anarchy's, is Bruho. Don't know how to say his name. I think it should be pronounced Bruho, because I think that's funny. He's a K-Roll player, and he had some insane sets. Upset Mutace. It was 3-2, super close. Granted, Brujo did get the advantage of Mutace's hands were really flaring up, because Mutace has like several health problems, and he just really shouldn't have played, honestly. That doesn't mean what Brujo did wasn't impressive, and also beat Kiwi 3-1 to then make it into here in winners, losing to Axiom. And ended up losing to Beast 3-2 in a heartbreaker, honestly. Super sad. I wonder if that's up yet. So again, he's up 2-1. So the cannonball hits. And then goes for the, the shoot out. The kill screen happens. And Charizard's definitely dead here. 100% dead here. But unfortunately dies literally probably like 3 to 4 frames before Charizard would have. So instead of winning the set 3-1, he actually loses. And Beast ends up winning game 5 super, super close. And also Brujo's like 13 or something like that. Very young. And then Beast clutches this game. Oh, he popped off so hard he fucking broke the setup. Yeah, unfortunate. Overall, honestly played very, very well. Again, like we had several like odd matches. Again, the Zelda stuff that I talked about, we had a lot of like weird characters. Light kind of dominated because he does that. Zamba kind of dominated until winners finals. We had a lot of Pokemon trainers. We had Sora, who's a Pokemon trainer, Steve. We had Beast, who's a Pokemon trainer. Tweak was playing a lot of Pokemon trainer this weekend. He was kind of flipping between Pokemon trainer, Diddy, and Wario. The best thing about Shine was the fact that literally round 2 pools was best of 5. Which was great. It was so good. A lot of good stories. There were some ups and downs of Shine, though. Again, the ups, I think the top 8 was a lot of fun to watch. I heard a lot of people say that their favorite set was Axiom versus myself. It was a very fun set. Could have played it better. Axiom, honestly, he played a different style of Kazuya that I was expecting. Like, a lot of Kazuyas try to, like, hit you, and he was just content to play neutral and poke with forward airs and then randomly electric sometimes. So it was really, really efficient. He also almost beat Tweak. The problem with Shine, I'm not even going to fault the staff for it, besides like don't book the venue again, because the DCU Center had a lot of issues. Granted, one, the security was honestly pretty good. They had metal detectors and were like pretty thorough in bag checks, which I liked. I would rather be annoyed at this security's taking too long because it's too thorough than just like pat, okay, you're good. It ended up affecting, Melee more because it was after Ultimate. There was very little water. You couldn't bring outside water, which I think is stupid. I think you should always be able to bring water into a venue no matter what. There were like water fountains, and there were 15-gallon or 10-gallon jugs of water like at dispensaries. Like not dispensaries, what the fuck, that's weed. The dispensers. I think as the days went on, or like the ends of the day, there would be less water. There was definitely a tweet that's like, oh my god, I saw someone like go backstage and get a top player water. That top player was me, and I asked Josh to get me water, and he was like, I think I can do that. And he wasn't even sure, but he ended up getting it. But yeah, the water situation there was pretty bad. Also, water bottles were $6. I really don't like venues doing that. I think there should be very easily available free water. And again, there were water fountains, which I used several times, but I don't know if those shut off at some point. This is kind of like a good bad, right? The venue was pretty cold, and the reason for that is they want airflow because COVID. So they had the ACs on basically the whole time, but it also made the venue very cold. Also, it's something I'm just tired of when it comes to events that BTS or like Summit runs. They heavily prioritize the stream over anything else, which again, I understand from a business perspective because that's kind of how you make your money other than like the people that go. But the problem was this pool started at 8. My pool, my last round started at 8. So I was ready to play Jackal at 8. And in my head, I was like, okay, there's 2 streams. One of these might be on the secondary stream, so I'm like, and most going to be third. And third, I mean, especially considering all of these were 3-0 except for my set, I was like, okay, this will take, 30 minutes. And then I don't blame the decision, but it's like, hey, there's a couple of people from the last wave of pools that are qualifying for top 12, and they wanted to cut them from the stream, so I said no, and I'm getting them on stream. I was like, that's fair. That ended up being like 4 sets. So I went from 3 to 7. So I was told like, oh, I'm supposed to be at 8. This part of bracket started at 8 instead of 8:30, so I was ready to play at 8. Which became 8:30, which became 8:45, which became 9, which became 9:15, which became 9:20. And being ready to play in tournament for an extra hour and 20 minutes is not feasible. Neither myself nor Jackal were happy with how this set went. I think game 1 we didn't do it, but game 2 we like took our headsets off because we were like talking about bans and stuff, and he's like, okay, is it just me or is this the worst set we've ever played? And I was like, yeah, no, we're both playing like really bad. And then he won game 3 and he's like, dude, this is so trash. And I was like, yeah. And then he won game 4 and he was like, dude, this is so trash. Like, it's so bad because we're both playing like garbage. And so that was unfortunate. He also felt like, he played really bad in this set. I got really upset at this because I was just pissed at the schedule. So then I played really angry in these sets and did very well.
Grabs flank. Oh, air duck. Wow.
Again, if I knew I was going to play at 9:30, I would have been prepared to play at 9:30, but it's the fact that I was gonna play at 8, and that became 9:30, and I was always ready to play, which is very mentally draining to just be ready to play for 90 minutes. Like if they told me again, hey, you're gonna play at 9:15, it's like, okay, cool, I can mentally check out and then recheck back in before that. Kind of unfortunate in that regard. I'm just tired of streams being the super priority. I feel like there just needs to be more communication, and like if you're gonna have that much of a priority of stream, have 3 streams to make sure that everything's fine. You know, I don't dislike Shine as an event overall. Water is a really bad one. Again, that's not the Shine TO's fault, but they need to somehow figure out a way to have them break that rule, because I think having outside just water, you need something, I feel like, to just let people get water very easily, or have like just a lot of free water, because like there was multiple water fountains, but only one of them was working. So, but yeah, what did you think of the tournament? I'm going to be analyzing some of the sets from it, especially my sets, but let me know down in the comments what you want to see, and I will see you all next time. Subscribe, etc. Peace.
Pikachu busted.